So hey, what's up y'all? This is Osiris J and welcome back to the channel. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the fact that Joe Rogan is fired in honor of Black History Month. Now, full disclosure, right? I'm sort of a fan of Joe Rogan, right? Like, I just recently launched my podcast, right? And one of the reasons why I launched my podcast is because of guys like Joe Rogan. I look at Joe Rogan and I'm like, this is just a guy sitting around, having a conversation about stuff that he cares about. And I'm like, I can do that. Right. And so, so I am a fan of Joe Rogan's podcast. Joe Rogan, and just for those of you who don't know, Joe Rogan is, he has, the #1 podcast in the world, I believe, the Joe Rogan Experience. He is the host of the UFC. He calls the fights for UFC, if you guys watch Ultimate Fighting at all. And he's the former host of a show, that's no longer on television called, what is the name? I forget the name of the show. It's, I'll remember it when I remember it. I'll tell you guys the name. It's basically they were eating all types of weird stuff in the show, right? Fear Factor. That's the name of the show, right? So, so Joe Rogan has gotten himself, went off the rails a little bit, around the issue of race and, and really, in my opinion, I think it's like, it's race and privilege, to be honest with you, right? And audacity, really. So, so Joe Rogan in an interview in his last, podcast, where he is talking about, he's talking about a whole host of issues that people are drawing offense to, right? But the piece that I'm addressing is where he's talking about Erick Dyson, who's a professor at Vanderbilt, right? I think he is,
I'm Osiris James, and I just want to say thank you guys for checking out my video, as usual. If you like anything that you hear in this video, I'm going to ask you to hit the subscription button up top, and I'm probably going to ask you to register in my webinar a little bit later, how to create one high-paying job for yourself and become a digital entrepreneur. That process, it changes you. Right? You can't be the same person from where you conceive the idea to where you actually produce the idea. You're two different persons. If you don't have those skills, you're going to have to go out and learn those skills. And that's a process of growing and developing, because you can have a great idea. You can be sitting in your room right now and you are a programmer and you have this great idea. How are you going to be able to, to get a customer to buy in, to get an investor to buy into your idea, right? If you don't know how to go out there and pitch your idea, if you don't know how to go out there and motivate people to come along with you, I'm going to give you the blueprint on how to do exactly that. How do you find those customers? How do you schedule those appointments? How do you get those leads? How do you go about generating more sales? I want you to check out the webinar. Hit the subscription button, and I'm going to ask you to register in the webinar, and I will see you on the other side.